Recently, many behind-the-scenes clips of Squid Game were revealed. They show us a lot of interesting details about the production. Today on CharlieTales, we will analyze this material, and I'll tell you about the tricks the production used to achieve the incredible scenes of Squid Game. Ready? Let's get started. The scenes are organized in the order of the episodes. We begin with episode 1, the Recruiters chapter. Here we can see how several scenes were filmed, such as the one in the park with the beggars. But let's focus on the Russian roulette scene with Gi-hun. In this scene, we can see director Hwang Dong-hyuk sitting on the floor to the right. He's watching Gi-hun's performance very closely. On the actor Gong-yu's lap, we can see some sheets of paper with drawings. These are likely the scene's technical script, including the camera shots to be taken. I'm pretty sure this is just a rehearsal before filming. That's why we see the printed script, and on the bed, the director also has his version of the document. If we look at the final scene, of course the director no longer appears. It's fascinating to see how the scene changes completely, thanks to editing and color correction. In the behind-the-scenes footage, the lighting looks quite simple, but in the final scene, with the same lights, everything feels dark and epic. Actor Gong-yu mentions that he became very attached to this character. He says he always wanted to play villains, but never had the chance. This could be considered his first villain role, and he loved that they brought the character back. Let's move on to the doll game. This game had many real elements, but also used a lot of CGI. This is evident in the background behind the players. Those are blue walls. But why did they use a blue screen? It's a good question, considering that there isn't anything significant in the background in the episode, just walls. The issue is that the doll game takes place in a massive arena with very tall walls. For the production, it would have been very complicated to create such gigantic walls. The most efficient and inexpensive solution was to use a blue screen that only covered the player's height. This made it very easy to replace the background behind them. And to create the upper part, there's no problem, since no player is that tall. In editing, they can fill it in with walls reaching up to infinity. It's a simple and cheap way to make giant walls without building them. Why is the screen blue and not green? In cinema, both options are commonly used, but it depends on the case. Green is the most common, but here it wouldn't have worked because the players wear green uniforms. If they had used green backgrounds, it would have been impossible to separate the screen from the players. That's why blue was more functional. Focusing on another scene, we'll see that player 293 gets shot for moving. But if we slow down the video, we'll notice how they achieved the effect. In reality, the actor has a small device that creates an explosion on his chest. This device bursts a fake blood pack to give the illusion of being shot. This makes sense, as it would be very complex to shoot actors with paintballs or something similar. According to actress Jo Yuri, this entire game felt very real. The director even played the actual doll song during filming. This made everything feel more believable. The actors got nervous, and it felt like they were truly playing. According to them, it was fun and terrifying. Let's move on to the pentathlon game. This challenge consisted of a group competition in which the players had to overcome 5 games. According to the director, this was done to present several games at the same time. Remember, there's only one season left before the series ends, so we won't see many new games. The pentathlon set was built from scratch using wood. Almost everything we see in this game was real and designed by the production team, from the paintings to the windows, and of course, the circles on the floor. But if we look closely, there is some CGI. On these monitors above, we can see blue screens. This is where we later see the timer in the episode. Why use CGI instead of a real clock? It's a production issue. Each pentathlon circuit only lasts 5 minutes, but filming each round can take hours. Moreover, they filmed the scenes out of order. These details make it impossible to synchronize real clocks with the correct time. To avoid continuity errors, the clock is added with CGI. In editing, they can decide which time fits best, creating the illusion that everything indeed happened in 5 minutes. As an extra detail, the director mentions that this challenge was originally planned to last 10 minutes per team. But when it came time to film, he was surprised that most actors could complete the circuit in 5 minutes. Thanks to this, he decided to change the script so the challenge would only last 5 minutes, as we see in the series. In this game, we had an incredible scene when Dae-ho shown playing Gongi, but in reality, the actor never made the moves. The production hired a Gongi professional to perform the scenes where only the hands are visible. They then merged these shots with Dae-ho's, so it looked like he did everything. This anecdote is a bit sad because actor Kang Han-ul said he spent weeks practicing to make the moves, but he was surprised when told they would use a professional. Another important detail is that actor Lee Byung-hun, who plays the frontman, had trouble with the spinning top game. The actor is right-handed, but his character is left-handed, so his final throw had to be perfectly executed with his left hand. This was a challenge for him. Let's move on to the carousel game. In this game, once again, the production built everything from scratch. They constructed a huge wooden structure to house the entire carousel and the rooms with doors. This was done to completely avoid CGI and achieve more realism. Even the carousel mechanism is real. The actors had to spin before running to the doors. From this wide shot, we can see a massive group of lights at the top. These lights were used to create the color effect we see in the episode. That's why everything is purple when the teams begin to split. There are also a couple of videos with details about how the voting scenes were made. The director mentioned in the behind-the-scenes footage the reason why there are now votes after each game. Remember, in the first season, there was only one vote. According to the director, the voting system changed to create more conflict among the players. The votes are not anonymous, so this causes more division among them. For this same reason, players were given stickers with the vote they chose. It was extremely important to show which team they belong to. Finally, let's move on to the shootout in the final episode. Here we'll notice many interesting things. First of all, this scene has a blue screen in the background. That's why the walls are blue. This was done to create a background in editing. In the final episode, this entire scene takes place on an upper floor. Here we can see that the entire Squid Game set is enormous. But in the behind-the-scenes footage, we'll notice that everything was filmed at ground level. In real life, it would be impossible to create this entire staircase-filled, multi-level set. That's why CGI is used to create the illusion that everything was filmed higher up. Another very interesting detail is that in this scene, we can see a production member with a kind of machine gun. If we zoom in, we'll notice that this weapon is loaded with small gray pellets. What are these? It seems they are some kind of powder ammunition, and this person uses the machine gun to fire these pellets at the wall. In fact, if you look to the left, you'll notice a black stain on the wall. They're shooting here to guide the actors with the sound. They create the illusion of firing real bullets so the actors can interact better. Apparently, this powder is also used to mark the wall. With this aid, the production team can later use it to guide where to place the bullet holes with CGI. That's all for today. If you liked the video, you'd really help me out by leaving a like. That would be legendary. Also, remember to subscribe to see more videos like this. Thanks for listening. My name is Charlie, and I'll see you in the future.